Well, we have kind of a weird wind this evening for here. It's southwest-west, almost straight out of the west. My plan for this evening is I'm going to put out a doe decoy kind of in the middle of the field where it can be seen by anything that comes into the field. There's a little bit of standing beans, a couple of rows out there in the middle. I'm going to set up on the north side of the field, and I don't think that we'll have any problem with deer smelling us right there, so we'll have to see how it goes. If anything comes into the field and sees the decoy, I'm hoping that they come out to it. There's two bucks that I would really love to see, either one of. One is an 8-pointer. He's got a real nice, probably 2.5-inch sticker off his G2. I've only got him on my camera one time, and the other one is a typical 6x5, and he's been on my camera quite a few times. And yeah, the plan is to get in there, build a little blind, because I don't have any place set up right there. We'll build a little blind by the tree, set up the ozonics so that we're not going to be smelled by anything that goes downwind of us. There's mostly the creek right behind me, and there's a big loop in the creek right there, so I don't think that anything's going to get down there, but nothing ruins a hunt faster than a deer snorting at you and running away, so we try to prevent that from happening. This is day 2 of Illinois second gun season. I haven't had too much confidence. I had a nice 4-year-old 8-pointer walk past me last night. He didn't get too spooked. He came into about 8 yards and looked up and saw me, didn't know what I was, and he walked off to the north and on out of there. I had a doe that was in there. She stayed in there and blew 3 times, and she didn't really like me there, so I moved out to the field. The wind is completely different now. It's almost west-southwest. It's really not good for this field, so I'm sitting on the far north side of the field. I had a blind over here in years past. I have a doe decoy out at about 100 yards. We'll just have to see what happens this evening. There's not been many deer coming out into the field, so I'm hoping that if a buck does come up to the edge of the field, he'll see the decoy out there and go out to investigate. At 100 yards, she looks kind of small, but I don't expect the deer to be 100 yards. I kind of expect them to be about 60 to 70 yards to my left. So. Well, I've been after this buck all year long. Started seeing him last year in late December and January. He was coming into the bean field. And I didn't get very many pictures of him last fall. I don't know where he came from. I just started seeing him late in the year. But this year he didn't show up until almost November. And I was like, wow. The first thing I saw was this antler about 1 foot away from my trail camera, so it made it look gargantuan. I was like, wow, that's a giant deer. And he also had a base point that came out below the base. It was about 2 inches long right on that side, and that made it look even nicer. So kept getting pictures of him. I just couldn't catch up to him. I got several pictures during the daylight hours, and things just didn't work out where I could catch up to him. So here I am during our second gun season. First gun season didn't work out at all. It was just terrible. I saw 2 deer in 2 days, and I wasn't able to hunt the rest of the time. At least this time I have plenty of opportunities to go, and I just kept going back to that same general area. He came into a bean field with, I don't know how many does came out before him, maybe 3 or 4, and had a doe decoy set out in the middle of the field about 100 yards away from me, to where they could see it from anywhere they came out. I wanted to attract a buck if he was on the edge of the field. So that system worked out for me. There were several other small bucks come out. I grunted at him and I snort wheezed. He didn't really have too much interest. So I'm not sure if he was not interested in another buck or just not interested in doing anything at that point in time. That's yet to be seen, but when he came out far enough, I was able to get a clear shot, and I went ahead and took it. There were several does that had started flagging. I think they got close to the decoy and it made them nervous, and a squirrel behind me started barking and they started flagging. So I thought, well, now's the time. So went ahead and took the shot, and it looked like he just disintegrated. It's like the Acme ray gun. But he dropped right there in the beans, and you couldn't hardly see him. You could see him flop just a little bit. But a great ending to my dismal 2020 year.